Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my review of the Lovevery companion box, but from the perspective of a mum of a special needs child. I hope this video is going to be useful to some of you out there who are also dealing with children who have special needs and disabilities, and you want to see whether something like this Lovevery box is going to be useful for them. Now, the reason I'm reviewing this box is because it's incredible and it has helped my child in a huge way, and I'm a very engaged mother and I have loads of toys, I have loads of resources, so I have plenty of things, but this has been one of the most successful things for my special needs boy. So to give you a bit of background, my son has autism on the worst end of the spectrum. He's got low muscle tone, he's got a learning delay, he's non-verbal, etc. So he has got a plethora of special needs that he has to deal with and work with. So it's really, really important for me that I can find tools and toys that I can use with him that's going to encourage speech, encourage his muscles to develop and strengthen, and also keep him engaged and slowly build up engagement, because he finds it really hard to sit down and work on a task for a long time. So I've got two boys. My youngest son is also working through the Lovevery boxes, and I do a more sort of neurotypical review of those. But on these younger boxes, I do this special needs series purely just so in case someone out there finds this useful, because I know from my experience there's not a lot out there and it can be quite difficult to navigate resources and things like that. So yeah, so let's jump in. I'll go through some of the toys. I'll share my thoughts. I've got a couple of clips I can insert in. Obviously, if you've got a child who's at the typical age for this, which is 22, 23 and 24 months, you could also watch this and hopefully get some interesting ideas. But yeah, let's jump in. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 toys in this box, and there's also a book. The book, look at this big sheet, is called Opposites, which I don't actually have in the box at the moment. We also have a wooden posting stand, Montessori animal match, and there's a little bag that goes with that, transfer tweezers, felt stars and felt basket, a mosaic button board, a chunky wooden puzzle and a buckle barrel. So loads and loads of fine motor toys in this box. So the first thing that I introduced to my son was this wooden posting stand. As always, everything in the Lovevery boxes is made as environmentally as possible, using recycled bioplastic, sorry, and also environmentally approved wood and things like that. So this is the posting stand, incredible quality, really beautiful. It's got these two different sizes of posting stick, one's skinnier and one's fatter, and there's also a hole at the base that you have to put in and match up to. You don't have to, but it adds another element of challenge. Now, this little posting stand was really great for my son. He loved doing this. When we first did it, I just took out all the different sizes, and what I did is I introduced one at a time, and he would try initially putting it in the small one. Sometimes he just wouldn't even be looking at the toy, he'd just be like in his head or looking around, and eventually he started to notice the difference between the sizes, and he started posting them in the correct holes. He does not match them at the bottom yet, but he does get them in. Sometimes he would take, if I laid them down, he would take two and like be trying to put them in, and I was like, no, that's not gonna work. So it's quite good to introduce one at a time. When I first did this as well, I did not expect him to do all these sticks, so I took them out and I gave him, you know, like 3, one at a time, which is quite good because it gives it a sense of completion without this feeling of being overwhelmed by all these holes. You know, quite often it's not unusual for a special needs child to have low attention span, and if you present them with quite a complex puzzle for their ability, they can feel quite frustrated, because for them this can be a lot harder than it is for a typical neurotypical 2-year-old. So just bear that in mind. So this was great. It really did help my son sort of take time to look and notice the difference between the skinnier and the thicker one, and he started to master that really well. Obviously there's the fine motor skill of posting in, and then, you know, also trying to post the wrong one in, also great learning skills. There's a lovely tactile element with these little sticks as well. And yeah, it was just a great success. We still use this, and I would say this is one of his favorite toys, which is amazing. I can't believe it. So it's been a great success, brilliant toy. I love this, 10 out of 10. It's been such a good learning resource for him, and it has built his attention span to the point where he can do this entire puzzle now all by himself, and he loves it. So I just dump out the sticks, he does it all, and then he dumps it out and does it again, which is fantastic for him. So it's definitely, since we started this box, he has progressed so hugely to actually doing this himself, which is mind-blowing to me. So yeah, brilliant. The easiest thing in the box for him was this animal match activity. This is a Montessori inspired activity. It comes with a set of 6 animals, and these were all chosen by Lovevery, not by a theme. As you can see, there's a lion, there's a dog, there's a cow, there's a monkey, so you've got different types of places that they'd all live, but they were chosen because of the sounds they make. So we have a cow, which obviously like moo. We have a lion, which is roar, dog, woof, a monkey, ooh, ooh, ah, ah. So lots of lovely like sounds that you can do with those animals, which is brilliant for a child that has speech difficulties. So it comes with those little plastic animals, which are obviously great for sensory tubs. If you've got a sensory child, you know, they're going to love playing with these in tubs. My 4-year-old still loves playing with sensory tubs. And then it comes with these matching tiles, really sweet wooden tiles that all match those animals. So obviously you can lay these down and you can get your child to place the animal on top. Now, my child had no problem doing that. He found that a nice, easy thing to do. But as we did it, I encouraged him to say the words. So he is non-verbal, but he does have speech abilities. His receptive skills are high for him, his age and everything, but he just, there is, you know, the speech is not his first way of communicating. And as most autistic children will find that quite, I'm trying to describe it, it's just like a disconnect. So what we did is when we were doing a cow, I would be saying cow, cow, and then we'd also say moo, or like, what noise does the cow make? Moo. And then when he was in the mood for it, he was really good and he said all the names, and also he loves saying the animal noises. So this was a great gentle exercise in improving speech, using his mouth in different ways, and muscle tone in the mouth and the tongue, so that was great. And also a great sense of completion and success rate, which I have mentioned in my previous special needs videos. Is really, really important that if you have a special needs child, you dismiss some of the things you've heard about withdrawing praise, which is, I don't want to be shot down for this, but I think I'm right in saying that is something in Montessori where you don't want to necessarily praise your child for succeeding in a puzzle, like, oh, well done, you know. But with a special needs child, you really do want to do that. You want to give your child toys which they can do, as well as toys that are going to challenge. If it's always a challenge and always an uphill battle, they will lose interest. You would lose interest. So put yourself in their shoes and realize, like, when they are doing an activity, it's so much harder, and you want them to have a sense of, yes, I did it, you know, I can do this. So with something like this game, it was great that it was included because, like I said, it has the speech element, but also he could do it. So I could lay this out, boom, he got it right. I could do lots of praise. He felt a sense of achievement and a sense that, you know, he is a big boy, he can do these things. So I love that. And also, like I say, these animals are great for chucking into the bath, into sensory tubs, into foam, into rice. Great, you know, no complaints there. Also, I love the bag. The bag is so gorgeous. So yeah, beautiful activity. Great for the neurotypical age. In fact, this could even be given to younger kids than 2, but also lovely for our neurodiverse children. So the thing that I was like, I'm not sure my child's going to be doing this, is the buckled barrel. The buckled barrel contains 3 different types of clip. There's a square clip, there's a round clip, and there's more of a typical buckle. And the idea is that you give this to your child and they unbuckle the barrel and then they put everything back together again. Now this is quite hard, you know, your child has to learn to use 2 hands, there's a little squeezing motion, there's the pulling, you know, this is quite a complex activity for this age range, that is neurotypical age range of up to 2 years. But this actually worked really well for my son. Now, I did have a buckle toy before this. I had one of those buckle buddies, I think they're called, and we had like a crab which had some of the clips. Now, unfortunately, I never loved that toy, and I think the reason was it was too busy. There was too much going on. And what I really liked about this is the simplicity. There is no like bright colours or anything to kind of confuse my child, or if there was an image of something here, it would distract him completely. So this was a toy that he could really focus on the task of buckling and unbuckling. And when we started this, he found it quite hard, and he did show interest in it, but you know, he wouldn't want to necessarily complete it. Now when he sees it, he just straight away starts buckling it and unbuckling it, and he loves it, and he's starting to really master all of the clips, which is amazing. I was so impressed at how this kept his attention. It was just the right size for him. Like I said, there was no distractions on it, and obviously the benefits of doing this is huge. And he has actually been trying to unbuckle his car seat, which is also great. You know, he's really interested now in buckling and unbuckling. So it's something that's really piqued his interest. And I have to say, like I said at the start, when I first saw this, I just did not think he was going to be interested in this at all. And it's, again, a 10 out of 10 success for him. A really good toy for children with the low muscle tone. Some of these buckles are actually not too difficult. So the square and the round one, even if you have your hand like that and you sort of press the button, you will get release. And these ones are going to be a lot harder. You are going to have to use the right motion. So I really appreciated the fact that there was different stages of this, different levels of hardness, which made this a really great toy. I think if all the buckles had been the standard buckle clip, I would have not found this such a success with my son. But the fact there were 3 different stages made this fantastic. Again, a complete winner, and my mind was blown by the difference when we first received this box and now a few months later. So yeah, big thumbs up for this one. So moving on to the mosaic button board. This is a lovely toy. It contains a wooden tray, 4 coloured buttons. There's green, red, orange and yellow. And then there's this acrylic board, and behind it there are these pieces of paper or card with different varying levels of difficulty. There's squares, you see that's a little bit more hard. So different shapes, a blank one for just doing any design you want, and then like quite complicated. So when I started this, I literally just used the plain empty board. I didn't even use the white one actually, which, you know, I could have used the white card, that would be better. But I just used the plain board, and I gave him 3 buttons, like so easy, because I knew he would hate doing this. And I encouraged him to place them anywhere he wanted. And what I loved about these is that when you push them in, there's a click, which I think is great. It encourages them to push them all the way in, because if they don't push them all the way in, they will fall out. And initially he showed very little interest in this, but again we built it up, and now he can complete this one all by himself, which is amazing. He gets all the colours right. You know, he has very low muscle tone in his hands, so he has to work a little bit harder at getting the buttons in, but he can do it all by himself, which is great. My only thing I don't like about this board is that it's designed, sorry, let me just get this in. It's designed to go in like this, which is lovely. However, if you want to use it like this, which is a lot easier for my child to do, it slips out quite a lot. So it would have been great if they could have designed it so there was a way of like clipping it in so it didn't move out. So when I'm doing this with my son, I do actually hold this in place. So that was a bit frustrating, because usually Lovevery think of everything. However, I suppose it's not the worst thing in the world. Now, I did have button boards before because I knew they were an OT classic and a great toy for kids with low muscle tone, but also a great toy for my children at the age as they are. However, the ones that I purchased were so noisy, they were so busy, but visually they had like pictures of crabs and frogs and lots of different coloured buttons. And while they did, like, they excited my children, both of them loved them. My younger one found it fairly easy to do them. They were too noisy, like they were too visually noisy. And for my older son, it was way too distracting for him. He was so stimulated by the visuals of it that he really never got to putting the buttons in, and also there was just so much room for error. It was a disaster. And also I hated that button board. It was like so garish, so plasticky, so I ended up donating it when we received this, and this is so nice to use. And the other button board that I had didn't have that click when you put them in, which again I really like, you know, that little satisfying click. And like this is just so much better, like 100 times better, even though it has that element where you can't secure it when it's flat, but I still love it. And I love that it has the different patterns. You could also make up your own patterns, of course. So yeah, like again, my mind has been blown. Like I can't believe my child can actually do this himself now. And he just did not have the attention span for this when we first got it, and also it was really challenging for him to get his hands in the right way to place the buttons in. But now his attention span has improved so much from us just doing this again and again and again, and starting with 3 buttons, and now moving up to actually completing the colour pattern all by himself. So if you also have a special needs child and you're just finding that not achieving anything with these toys, pare it right back. Just make it an easy win. Give them 1 button. Give them 1 button and take away the colour pattern and let them put it anywhere. See if you can get their attention span for that. You will get their attention span for that. Build it up to 5 buttons. Build it up to 10 buttons. You know, or then give them the toy and see what they do with it. Do they throw it? Do they want to just like play with the buttons for a bit, you know, and make noise? Let them explore the toy. Let them have some successes, and then slowly add a little bit of structure and a sense of completion as you go. Now, my son's most hated toy from this is the puzzle. He hates this thing so much, but I was so excited to get this puzzle because I wanted this so much. This is a really chunky, quite heavy wooden puzzle. It comes with 4 pieces. They're 2-sided, they have different colours, and you know, it's a simple idea that you put them together to form the puzzle. So there's a couple of elements to this. Obviously they have to be able to pick up the pieces and slot them in, but also if you get, you know, a piece like that, you have to figure out, you have to shift to turn it around to get it in. So there's a few different elements that the child has to cognitively understand. And when I first introduced this to my son, I was quite interested to see what he did with it, because it's not that complicated, you know, like even just putting it in like that, I was like, surely he can do that. No, he was so angry when I gave this to him. He hated it. I think because it was heavy, he actually found it really quite challenging to get it in. I actually haven't given this to him at a table. I've been doing all the activities on the floor, and I do think if he was at the table he'd find this easier, because the way he sits, he finds it quite difficult to get his body in the right position. However, we have also had success with this puzzle. I can't believe I can actually say that, but it's true. So initially when we got this, like I said, he found this really hard to manipulate. Not only did he have to manipulate the pieces, but they were heavy, so his muscles were getting tired. However, what I found with this is I just literally did hand on hand. So again, started with 2 pieces. There was 1, I would put my hand over his hand and literally put it in. Tons and tons of praise when he did it, and he was so uninterested. He wouldn't even look at the puzzle, so he was just like looking like that. And then when he wouldn't get it in, he'd just get annoyed because his attention span was just not going to do this. Once his focus is there, it's more easy for him to be able to do it, but it's the focus which is sometimes the problem. So we started with 2 pieces, hand on hand, and then the other day he just did the whole thing, so which was amazing. Definitely a great puzzle for that low muscle tone. I mean, like I said, it's heavy, so it's building up some muscles in his hands, but it's lovely and chunky, really tactile. And of course, you know, your child could put the puzzle piece in the wrong way, and that doesn't matter. You know, they can complete this like this, and that's still a success. So just see if you can get them to interact with it and place the pieces in. Maybe your child won't find this hard, and mine did, but I loved it. I really wanted this puzzle, and it has been a really good challenge for him. But you know, an easy enough challenge, something we can work on. And yeah, but it was funny that he took such a dislike to it. Even when he first saw it, he said no. Like he's very good at saying no, so he was, no. But we kept working on it, and we were getting there. And he is starting to complete it, which is great. Okay, so moving on to the last little item in here. Hold on, let me put everything back so it's all neat and tidy. Okay. And yes, actually, just before I go on, I do keep the toys in the box. So with my younger son, we take the toys out and we put them in our toy display. But for my older son, because I'm using these kind of as therapy toys, occupational therapy toys, I keep these toys in the box and I take them out. And actually he sometimes takes them out too to work on them. The reason I do that is because I find it easier as a busy woman, a business owner, you know, I have a lot on my plate. I find it easier to remember when the box is sitting there and everything's in one place. I don't have to run around the house taking things out. I find it a lot easier then to just take everything out from the box, work through everything and put it back in the box. And you know, maybe there's an element that's nice for my son too, that he can see the beginning and an end, as opposed to having to look at these toys all the time. I think it's kind of better in the box. Anyway, moving on to the hardest thing in the box, which is the tweezers and the felt stars. So in this little felt basket, which is very sweet, lovely thick yellow felt basket, we have 7 stars in lovely colours that match the puzzle. So we have orange, blue, pink, green, yellow, kind of neutral colour, and purple. And the idea is that the child will use these tweezers to tweezer the stars and place them in the basket. Now, this isn't an easy activity, even for a 2-year-old, let's face it. I mean, it is actually quite tricky to tweezer stars and put them in. This is something which, you know, children get better at as they practice, and you know, sometimes takes years. So for a child with low muscle tone, a tweezering activity like this is going to be difficult with a capital D, and it has been. So this for me is something my son's very interested in. When he sees it, he wants to do it. He loves the idea of the tweezers and he wants to be able to do it, but his hands are just struggling big time with this. So what I do is we do hands on hand, and I use 3 stars because otherwise I'd be there all day. So I lay out 3 stars, we do hand on hand with the tweezers and put them in, loads of praise, and that's where we're at with that. Eventually he will get it and he will be able to use the tweezers. That's how I start with that activity, just hand on hand, paring it down to a couple of pieces, and then loads of praise once we succeed. There is a matching activity with this as well. With these pieces here, there are matching colours, so you can place the orange star on the orange puzzle. Again, there's pink, there's a green, and there's sort of matching green. There's a purple and purple star, and then in the last piece we have yellow, so we have our yellow star, and we've got this sort of sea blue, bluey colour, and then the blue star. So I love that as well, that you can also make this into this fun matching activity. Really, really sweet. And yeah, that's everything in the companion box. So that is my roundup of the Lovevery companion box. As you probably gathered, I love this box. It's been a huge success. In fact, I would say this has been the most successful box we have had. When I received it, I really felt like this was where he was at with his fine motor skills. This really matched him with the skills he needed to learn, and it has been really amazing to see the progression from when we received this box to where we are now, and everything has just been fantastic. The quality has stood up to him using it, and there's still loads of play left. I mean, we're still mastering the puzzle and the stars and the tweezers, and we'll still be practicing with the mosaic button board. My younger son, who's 4, he loves the button board, and he'll play with that for ages. So there's great longevity with these toys as well. And I can see us having some of these toys for quite a long time. I hope this video has been useful to some of you out there. Of course, you don't need to buy this box. You can find dupes online. I mean, certain things you won't find dupes of. You know, it will be hard to find a chunky wooden puzzle like this. But you can find simple puzzles, perhaps. 2-piece puzzles would be a good swap for that. There are buckle toys available. I mean, I love this one, but you know, there are other versions. You can find posting boxes. There is nothing like this one, but you can find ones that have just simple sticks. But I have to admit, I do really love this. I love the fact it's got the 2 different sizes. The button boards, you can buy button boards. Why I like these ones is the simplicity, and like I said, I'm a mother with a lot of experience of toys. You know, I take toys very seriously, always have done. And there is a huge difference between a toy that is not full of noisy visual distractions, especially for a child with special needs. There's some children, perhaps a really busy thing is going to be very engaging for them. I find with my son, it's overwhelming. And like, if there were pictures all over this barrel, he would be looking at them, you know, like really like getting very stimulated by the pictures. Well, with this, he can just look at the buckles and focus on the buckles. And that is where the value has really come in with these toys. And these are toys I've tried to add to our toy rotation before because I knew their benefits. I knew a button board is incredible for fine motor skill and development. However, they just never worked for me because they were too busy and they were ugly to look at from my perspective. But if they had been successful, I would have kept them, but they weren't. So yeah, top marks, incredible box. You can buy some of these pieces secondhand if you go on places like eBay and Vinted, and you can find some secondhand versions of these toys as well, which can be useful if you're trying to save money. Otherwise, the way to get these boxes is to subscribe. You can cancel any time, so you can subscribe, get one box, cancel, or pause your membership and come back at a different time. However, these are worth it, 100%. If you have got a special needs child, you will know that you're in the system of going to OT specialists, you know, all these things, trying to get therapies for a child. A lot of the therapies you'll do at an OT session are going to be these things. If you can learn to do these at home, you can save yourself quite a lot of money. I'm not saying you don't need to go to an OT specialist. You have to talk to your therapist about these things. We still do OT and have therapists. However, to be able to do this at home is incredible. And sometimes for a child, always going off to different appointments might not be, don't shoot me for this, might not be the best thing for them. Sometimes being able to do things in the comfort of their home, in the safety of their home, can help them develop faster or develop in a way that's right for them. Because at the end of the day, your child is perfect just the way they are, and it can sometimes feel really weird, like, you know, this box is for up to 2 years old, and you might be giving this to a 7-year-old, you might be giving this to a 14-year-old, you might be giving this to your, you know, 30-year-old brother or sister, and that's okay. You know, if you can find activities and toys that match where they're at, that is all that matters. And you've just got to throw away the stupid rule book of developmental, whatever's right for each developmental age, and just realize like the importance is to find the thing that really stimulates them, helps them grow, helps them get a sense of achievement, you know, works those little muscles and things like that, and keeps their interest and gives them some joy back as well. And all these toys do that. So yeah, I love it. I love the Lovevery. I mean, it's quite interesting because I did get a comment on one of my videos. Someone had said something along the lines, I think it was kind of like a spammy comment, but it was something like ad or something like, you know, like you're sponsored. I am not sponsored, guys. I do get sent these boxes for free because I reached out to Lovevery and I asked for them because I knew I would do these videos. As a result, I have to sit here for hours filming and editing, and also giving you a peek inside my life. So I think quite a fair exchange, in fairness. But also, yeah, I don't get paid for this. And, you know, I do this because I truly believe in these products. I would buy this subscription hands down, without a doubt, 100 times over. I am obsessed. And it's been such a success with my child that this is why I'm passionately talking to you about it, because I hope you can tell I'm really into this. I love them. So yeah, thank you Lovevery for collaborating with me, because this has enabled me to use these toys with my child when, you know, otherwise I would have been saving up and saving up. But this has enabled me to have these toys. And of course, when I'm done with these toys, they will be going to a special needs school so other children can learn from them. And thank you for watching this video, because by watching these videos, you are also enabling that, so thank you. So yeah, let's wrap this up. I've got a cup of tea going cold here, so I want to drink it. Thank you for watching. I have some other videos on the way. I've hopefully uploaded my Christmas books video by now. I've got to review this stunning Spielgarten, which I'm very excited about. This is another great Montessori toy that has lots of learning resources in it, which I'm working through with my 4-year-old at the moment. And yeah, I'm looking forward to trying our next box with Lovevery and seeing how my son fares with it. But yeah, have a great day, and sending you lots of positivity and support. If you are also a special needs carer or parent, you've got this. And yeah, it's a hard job, but just keep on at it and keep positive, because you're doing a great thing. Okay, bye.